For those that aren't aware, Spaceape announced that they were changing the requirements for the VIP program. The problem is that new players are coming to the game. Now, whether you believe that or not, I'm getting a lot more subscribers to my channel, so I kind of believe there's a lot of new players coming to the game. But Dale said that there's a lot of new players coming to the game, and they are spending. There is people that have played with the games that want something to spend on, and they are spending. So they have reached the requirement for VIP, but they didn't know about the VIP program until months later. And they're coming to Dale and saying, I've just found out about this VIP program where if you spend $500, you become a VIP. I spent well over that months ago. Can I get the rewards backdated? And then Dale's in a predicament anymore. Does he backdate them or not? So I kind of get in a predicament there. But then as well, how will he know if someone hits that spending cap? They don't have enough time as it is, and they don't have the resources. So it's not a job that you can keep going every week, every month, and going looking at and seeing who has spent over $500. And what he's told me, he's not really got the info to hand. It's a very manual process. So I understand that any manual processes take a lot of time, and we're trying to get rid of that time. But let's be honest, that's a good thing that he's trying to do that. And I was like, right, okay, I get where you're going with it. I was like, but I said, for me, there's three things that Spaceape need to do. I said, the first thing is they need to make the game more playable. There's a lot of top players are quite bored with the game, and they need to make it so we can play the game more. And I said to Dale that if I wanted to stream this game properly, just a gameplay stream, and I sort of tried that on a Monday night, and it didn't work because after about 45 minutes, an hour, you run out of cells, and you've got to spend to continue playing. Now, I don't want to spend during the week on being able to stream this game. I don't think it makes any sense, during the week especially. So I said to Dale, I said, I should be able to sit down and play this game for 3 hours. Whether it's a bit of Zen, whether it's a bit of War, whether it's a bit of Raids, but throughout them, I should be able to play this game for 3 hours. I should be able to sit and go, right guys, we're going to do a war attack, we're going to do some Zen farming, we're going to do some resource raiding, I'm going to show you how I do it, we can have a laugh, we can talk, we can ask some questions, talk RL, whatever, put a bit of music on, and we can just have a bit of a laugh and a joke and a good time. I can't do that with so many restrictions in the game. I said, so the first priority for me that I think you should do is make the game more playable. I said, number two is, you need to work on your perception to people. So your perception right now, and has been for a long, long time, is that it's a massive money grab company. That you'll literally sell your own grandmother just to get some money in the bank. I was like, this name change thing didn't help you. I was like, and a lot of the things you do are to encourage spending without actually giving true value. I was like, the last good thing that you guys did was increase the drop rates. I said, but that took 4 years. For 4 years, people were saying the drop rates are nowhere near good enough. We lost so many players because of drop rates. And finally, now they've changed them. Not many people really complain about drop rates because generally you do get the bot that you want within a decent bundle. Not every time. Granted, there are some horror stories. Even still, it's not good. But on the whole, drop rates are a lot better. And maybe around where they need to be. And the third one, I think, was just you need to start putting some real effort into the game in terms of fixing bugs and fixing content and make sure content's going out right. Because people are losing faith as a company that you can actually do that. Because you've got new players coming in. And if a new player comes to us and says, hey, listen, I'm thinking about being a top player. Should I drop a few grand on this game to get to your level, whatever? We'll be like, don't bother. That's what everyone be saying. Don't bother, honestly. It shouldn't be that way. We should be like, yeah, listen, mate, yeah, do it. You'll catch up to us. We're well worth it. It's a great game. Come on board. That's what it should be. But even the top players at the minute are like, yeah, no, not at the minute. There's too many bugs in the game. Like, you're not rewarded properly. The resources are all over the place. Things are overpriced. Stupidly overpriced. There's so many little economy things wrong in the game. So when this sort of dropped, so just to go through it quick, everyone would get double whatever they would normally get. So don't forget there's two rewards. There's the rewards that everyone gets in the game. Then there's the VIP rewards. So the general rewards will be doubled for everyone. Then they've got the Iron tier. So you would have to spend at least $20 on the game every month to get the sort of average VIP rewards we used to get. up to between $20 and $250 for tier 3. It went from $250 to $500 for tier 3. Then it went from $500 to $750 for tier 4. Then it goes from $750 to $1,000 per month in 1 month for tier 5. And then tier 6 is between $1,000 and $2,000 per month. My take on this, again, is about perception. If this went to the national newspaper that you're rewarding people for spending up to $2,000 in a month on a mobile game that is advertised as free to play, do you think that would be good for business or bad for business? Do you think more people would flock to the game and go, oh, that's a good game? Or do you think people would be put off by it and you would get a lot of hate mail? I'm guessing you get a lot of hate mail. I spoke to a lot of top players. I know a lot of top players. So I hit a lot of the players that I know that are quite big spenders and sort of said, like, you know, have you ever spent $1,000 on the game? And most people were like, no, never. I've spent about $500, $600. But generally, I'll spend about $300 if I'm doing an endurance. If not, I'll spend $100 over a month. So the bracket there is that even the top players are spending about $300 a month on average. On average. So I don't know who they're catering for this $1,000. I'd be worried if you are spending $1,000 on this game, guys. There's gambling companies where if you gambling too much, they will look at your account and sort of, you know, hit you up and say, listen, I think you're spending a bit too much. You know, and they advertise that there are companies to talk to if you're struggling to deal with gambling and you've got a problem. This game doesn't do that. There's no warnings. There's no, listen, when the fun stops. That's the sort of saying in the gambling companies over there. You know, gambling is fun. It can be alright. But when the fun stops, stop. When it's no longer fun, don't carry on gambling. They're doing their due diligence and sort of saying that, listen, we want to look after you. We want you to gamble, but responsibly. This does not say to me, we want you to play this game responsibly. And when after the conversation of perception with Dale, it kind of got to the point where we're like, well, they're just not listening. And I think this was just an absolute PR disaster. The chat went mental. I've not seen it in a long time. And I said to Dale that the top tier should be about $300. Rather than doing all this, you know, VIP program, all this and all that, why not make a third tier for the Battle Pass? A lot of people, some people said they wouldn't spend on it, some people would, but most people said they would like as an extra tier the Battle Pass. So I think that if you really want people to spend, that is the best value in the game. I think probably like 75-80% of players buy the Battle Pass. It says a lot that people are willing to spend on it in a little amounts if it is worth it. If they doubled it to whatever for the Battle Pass, if it doubled for double rewards, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But I think they're just trying to find ways to encourage people to spend because people aren't. But people aren't not spending because of what's in the crystals. It's because they don't need it. And I said to Dale, I said, you've got to give people a need to spend by giving them good content that they want to spend on because they know they're going to get a good investment from it. If they made bundles a bit cheaper, people might spend more. So I've said in my stream as well that when they raised the cap to 70, it didn't change a thing. But it meant we need another 150 million XP. It's not going to make your old bots one shot, so what's the point in doing them? The whole shards for 5%, 10% extra DPS and HP, it's not worth it. It's not worth spending $100, $200 per bot to get them to the top rank for 10% DPS and HP. I said today, I said, you need to do something new with that. You're just bringing out very mediocre content. Titans were impressive. There's a lot of things, just not much value, really, if I'm honest. And they need to create a need to spend by giving us good content to spend on, and people will spend again. You don't need to force people to spend. You need to give people a reason to spend. Give them a good reason, people will spend.